Just coming out of Exodus chapter 40, the tabernacle's been built. The tent has been built. The Ark of the Covenant is inside the house. Uh, the table for the burnt offerings is there. It's brand new. The incense table is there, and now we're going to find out. Oh, by the way, and the cloud is there by day, fire by night. In other words, God is dwelling in you. He's with you. It's undisputed. He has walked you through the desert. He has forgiven you for idol worship. He has listened to your murmuring and complaining. And he didn't run away. He came down to dwell amongst you. He came from off the mountain, which you didn't want to go to. Then after a while, he was like, okay, fine, then don't come. Then send Moses. Moses came, and just to share with you that God is not trying to harm you. And then after that experience, because see, there's many perspectives to it. And then God built a tabernacle, had you involved with building it. Building a tabernacle, getting to know him. And now he's guiding you in all truth. We're going to start talking about that truth. 2 videos ago, we talked about the burnt offering. Wanting to get started young, 3-year-old bullock. And then there's sheep and goat. There's also instruction. Later on you'll see for turtle doves and pigeons. But we want young without blemish, and the reason why is because that's not the right way to say it. He showed us to bring him the young bullock without blemish after God had called Moses, and he's teaching him about the burnt offering. The burnt offering is offering up this young bullock, a sweet smell. The purpose of the burnt offering, fire represents a lot of things, but fire represents testing. Fire also represents the Holy Spirit, just like water does. Fire represents the Holy Spirit. But in the testing of the bullock, God smells and understands that is a 3-year-old perfectly burnt, spotless bullock in my nose. You are offering up yourself as an atonement. What does that mean? In Christianity, we call it type and shadow. It means that when you offer up the bull, the perfect sinless bull, you're offering up yourself. That bull is atoning for you to live according to these rules we're talking about. We talk a lot about money. And that's fine, because we need money. We need currency. We need the nation to be healthy. You'll notice that when the tabernacle was being built, no one lacked anything, nor were they having a conversation about how much anyone was getting hourly. Everything was paid. All the offerings came in. The workers were taken care of. There were 3 million people in the desert. And they built a beautiful, perfect tabernacle. This is about the nation eating. This is not about you individually eating. We spent a lot of time on individual. Wealth, which there is no such thing as individual wealth, by the way. But we've spent a whole bunch of time on our rights to be rich. over the years in the 20th century. We're in the 21st century now. But over the years in the 20th century and even into the 21st century, everybody wants to talk about your right to be rich. Okay, cool. How's that going for you? This is about nation building, people group, families, the ecclesia in the Greek, but nation and going beyond family to nation building. That means welcoming in other members of the 12 tribes as an example of welcoming in the world. That's why God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. That's why they went beyond Jerusalem into Judea and all of the world systems. Because this is about bringing the nations together. Not just the chosen ones out of Israel. And it all starts here with the burnt offering. A lot going on here because Moses is, God is also showing Moses how to teach Aaron how to make the offerings. Because again, there are so many sides to this. Aaron is he's never done this before. Aaron is learning the purpose here. So I'm going to, for this next 3 minutes, this is not going to apply to everyone. This is just for those who feel like they're called to the line of Aaron, the priest, the pastors, teachers. I want you to see the heart of Aaron in this. In verse 4 of Leviticus chapter 1, verse 4, he says, "And he shall put his hands upon the head of the burnt offering," that being Aaron. A lot of our priests today, which are called pastors in the traditional Christian church, want to give you 5 steps to this, 10 steps to that, and all these other things. When the very first thing Aaron was told in verse 4, "And he shall put his hand upon the head of the burnt offering." Now, again, from this perspective, don't look at the burnt offering as money. Look at the burnt offering as a soul being offered up to God. I know that is not necessarily how we've been taught that. But just consider it for me right now that burnt offering is a soul being offered up to God. "And he shall put his hand upon the head of the burnt offering, and it shall be accepted for him," Aaron, "to make atonement for him," the burnt offering. No, listen, I know this is a different way of reading it, but sometimes maybe we need to slow down and actually get the real context. You've been given a couple of generations to get rich. Let's go back to the basics. I'll read from verse 3 to keep it in context so that we keep all the tenses and everything there. Because, again, verse 1 is the conversation between Moses and God, because the Lord called Moses. Verse 2 was his instructions to Moses, "Speak unto the children." This is what verse 3 says. "If his offering, burnt sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without blemish." So him being the person bringing the burnt offering, right? "Bring it without blemish." So I'm going to merge him and the burnt offering because they should be the same. Him and the burnt offering, because the burnt offering is type and shadow of the him bringing it. So, him being the burnt offering, burnt sacrifice of the herd. Herd is just the group, right? The group of bullocks. So we're going to merge all that, get rid of the shadow part, and just say the man coming before you to be offered as a burnt offering. Let's just try to keep it as simple as possible. And again, hear my heart behind this. We're going to get rid of the type and shadow. This is not money. This is the man, him, bringing the burnt offering, which is the 3-year-old bullock, from the herd, the congregation. Speaking of the children of Israel, right? Let's merge all the type and shadow stuff. Young, children, Israel, bullocks, male making an offering to God. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying unto them, if any man of you, that confirms it, right? Bring an offering unto the Lord, ye shall. So that's 2. All right. So we're good. Verse 3, where we really want to start. If his offering, we've determined who that is, I hope. If his offering, burnt sacrifice of the herd, children of Israel, let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will. In other words, I'm offering myself to God of my own will at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. The door of the tabernacle, remember that the tabernacle was just built. This is the first thing. So you are going to the tabernacle of the congregation to offer yourself up, representing the presence of God. That's where he dwells. Cloud, day, fire, night. Now let's go into verse 4. And he shall put his... He? Who is the he? He is the representative, the high priest, if you will, today's version of the pastor. He shall put his hand upon the head of the burnt offering. We've identified the burnt offering as the child of Israel. At least I've tried to get rid of all the type and shadow so you understand that we're talking about a soul. And it shall be accepted for him to make atonement for him. So it's all about him making atonement. He goes to the priest puts his hand on his head to make atonement for the one coming to the priest at the tabernacle, at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, where Aaron, forget Moses. Moses is representing God. He's coming to Aaron. I'm going to make it 3. So if this is interesting to you, let's go to Levitical, the Levitical beginning of days 3. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share time with you.